Hi. In today's Bible walk, I will be reading from one of my favorite chapters in the Bible. It's Job chapter 38. I just love this chapter, and also through 41, of course, plus 42. But God is answering Job and explaining a lot of things in Job 38 through 41. And it just shows his greatness, magnificency. What's the words in English? But he's great. He's God. He knows everything. He is omnipresent, I don't know the words. He is just God. He is totally above our pay grade. Yeah. And also, I just love this attitude he has here. It's so fun for me. I come from in the north in Norway, and it's a totally different culture from the south or west or east, so further down in Norway. One time, me and someone else, we were driving from around Oslo, the capital, and up to the north in Norway, which is only so-called north because that's only halfway, even though we call it north in Norway where I come from. But Norway is such a long stretched country. If you take the coastal line in Norway and you stretch it, might be included the islands or not, I don't know. But if you stretch it, it goes halfway around equator. So Norway is a long country. And one who was with me in the car, he said, when we came to the north, halfway, he looked at me and he's like, what's going on with people? They are different. We had just stopped at a gas station, and he didn't even know Norwegian, so he only saw it in their attitude or facial expressions, or like, how they abducted themselves. And he's like, people are different. They're more friendly or something. And that's correct. The people in the north in Norway are more open. Yeah, if people bump into each other on the street, they can start making jokes, and it would sound as if they have known each other for years, but where they have never met. So people are open-minded, outgoing, or how to say it. We have a lot of humor, and sometimes, I don't know if you call it dark humor. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying like survival humor, where you can joke about things that can be really painful. People are joking about themselves. They don't have this, they don't think too highly of themselves, but they can also be very straightforward. If they think something bad, they will tell you. You don't have to wonder if they like you or not. They will tell you. Now I'm talking about the typical culture in north in Norway. Of course, people are different everywhere. And my point is this: I think it's so fun to read these chapters in Job because God is he's sarcastic. He's like really giving it to Job, and I just love these chapters. About the book of Job, these chapters are really some of my favorite chapters in the entire Bible, but I don't like the rest of Job. Of course, it's the word of God. I cannot just not like it, but it's so confusing because Job's friends are talking chapter after chapter, and then God comes and says, yeah, you know what your friend said? Well, they are not really good friends, and what they said was not good, and you have to intercede for them. So these friends of Job, they say so many things that sound so godly, but it isn't, and I don't know what to pick and choose from it. So I just almost don't want to read it. So if you have some input on that, I'm open to it. I am not perfect. Jesus is. Let's start with chapter 38. Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, I just want to wish Job good luck. Who is this that darkens counsel by words without knowledge? Gird up now your loins like a man, and I will demand of you, and you declare to me. Where were you when I laid the foundation of the earth? Declare to me if you have and know understanding. Who determined the measures of the earth, if you know? Or who stretched the measuring line upon it? Upon what were the foundations of it fastened? Or who laid its cornerstone? It's really interesting when God starts discussing like construction work with you. Yeah, God, I'm gonna tell you. When the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy? Or who shut up the sea with doors when it broke forth and issued out of the womb? When I made the clouds the garment of it, and thick darkness a swaddling band for it, and marked for it my appointed boundary, and set bars and doors, and said, Thus far shall you come and no farther, and here shall your proud waves be stayed. God is powerful. Have you commanded the morning since your days began, and caused the dawn to know its place, so that light may get hold of the corners of the earth, and shake the wickedness of night out of it? By the way, I'm reading from the Amplified Bible, if you were wondering. It is changed like clay, into which a seal is pressed, and things stand out like a many-colored garment. Just a thought, many-colored garment reminds me, of course, of Joseph's tunic. I don't know if there is a connection here or not, because I'm not a theologian. But if you have any thoughts on that, please comment. From the wicked their light is withheld, and their uplifted arm is broken. Have you explored the springs of the sea? Or have you walked in the recesses? Is that how you say it? Or have you walked in the recesses of the deep?
Recesses.
Okay, Google Translate agrees. Google Translate approves this message. Have the gates of death been revealed to you? Or have you seen the doors of deep darkness? Have you comprehended the breadth of the earth? Tell me if you know it all. Oh, it just reminds me of the times where God has told me something, and I over time has heard him say the same thing again and again, and to the point that I know that it's him. It's not only my own thought, or that I've been eating too much pizza the day before or something. And I even remember where I've sat and said, I can hear that God is saying this, but I can't wrap my brain around it, so... And then I'm not gonna listen. I don't say that, but that's the results. That's what I've done. And I have learned a little bit more, I hope more than a little bit, over the years, that when I'm in these situations where I'm like, no, I know this is God, I have to turn my brain off. If it's something that makes, well, if it's something that fits with his word, of course, and it's a good thing. It's not like he'll tell you, go rob the bank. It doesn't fit, with the word of God. I'm talking about other things, decisions in life where I can choose between that and that direction, and he gives me a direction which is one of the options, but that I cannot understand why that is a good option, but he knows everything. And I have learned a little bit more about turning my brain off and walking on the water with what he says. And I've seen some amazing things happen. I want to call it miracles, but it's just, at least it's very amazing things that definitely he must be behind. Where were we? Verse 19. Where is the way where light dwells? And as for darkness, where is its abode? That you may conduct it to its home, and may know the paths to its house. You must know, since you were born then. Poor Job. Or because you're so extremely old. Yeah. The sarcasm is just, I love it. I'm sorry. I'm like, God, are you allowed to talk like that? And he's God, so wow. I'm glad that we are going to follow in his footsteps. Have you entered the treasuries of the snow? Or have you seen the treasuries of the hail? Which I have reserved for the time of trouble, for the day of battle and war. That's interesting. God has treasuries of hail and snow for, it sounds to me like the end time. By what way is the light distributed, or the east wind spread over the earth? Who has prepared a channel for the torrents of rain, or a path for the thunderbolt, to cause it to rain on the uninhabited land and on the desert where no man lives, to satisfy the waste and the desolate ground, and to cause the tender grass to spring forth? God cares about all his creation. He cares about the animals, he cares about people, he cares about the grass in desolate places. I mean, I don't understand how people cannot believe in God. After I started believing in him myself 20 years ago, it's more, it's 24 years ago. Now I cannot understand how people cannot believe in God. I mean, look at the orange. I saw this in a meme on Facebook, and it was a really good point. 1 out of a billion examples you could make, of course. God has wrapped the orange for you in this perfect wrap, the peel, wrapping, peel. And when you open it up, he has pre-sliced it for you. Oh, come on, it's not a coincidence. Come on. It's not, it can't be. Now where were we? Verse 28. Has the rain a father? Or who has begotten the drops of dew? Out of whose womb came the ice? And the hoary frost of heaven, who has given it birth? The waters are congealed. How do you say that word? Congealed?
Congealed.
Congealed. The waters are congealed like stone, and the face of the deep is frozen. Can you bind the chains of the cluster of stars called Pleiades, or loose the cords of the constellation Orion? Can you lead forth the signs of the zodiac in their season? Or can you guide the stars of the bear with her young? Do you know the ordinances of the heavens? Can you establish their rule upon the earth? Can you lift up your voice to the clouds so that an abundance of waters may cover you? Can you send lightnings that they may go and say to you, here we are? Who has put wisdom in the inward parts or in the dark clouds? Or who has given understanding to the mind or to the meteor? Who can number the clouds by wisdom? Or who can pour out the water bottles of the heavens when heat has caused the dust to run into a mass and the clods to cleave fast together? Can you, Job, hunt the prey for the lion? or satisfy the appetite of the young lions when they couch in their dens, or lie in wait in their hiding place? Who provides for the raven its prey when its young ones cry to God and wander about for lack of food? That was chapter 38. Whew! God really put the cupboard where it's supposed to stand. God really put the closet where it's supposed to stand. And if that's not English, I'll let you know that's perfect Norwegian in English. Oy, oy, oy. Okay, God is really saying how it is. And this is, of course, done in love. And you'll see that in chapter 41, and the last chapter of Job, 42, where God restores Job. All right, leave a comment below if you'd like. Thank you so much for listening in. See you soon.